Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to do a more traditional type of video. I'm going to do a top 5 video, and to celebrate the second season of the ISL, the International Swim League, starting tomorrow, I'm going to do a top 5 of what I think will be the most likely world records to go. Now, obviously with swimming we can't guarantee that we'll get any world records whatsoever. But with 7 weeks of racing over 13 different meets, I just can't see how the best athletes in the world aren't going to produce a number of world records. The first season of the ISL had a lot less meets, and we still saw 3 world records broken. And I think with more meets, the bubble atmosphere, I just see some super fast swimming happening. Now, with the absence of athletes such as Katie Ledecky, all the Australians, and Daya Sato, a few of the events won't make this list because I think them athletes have had a great chance of breaking them world records, but without them athletes being there, I think them events will be safe. Events like the women's 400 free, the men's 200 IM, and the women's 200 backstroke. Now, a number 5 is probably the biggest long shot of this entire list, and that's the men's 200 freestyle, which is currently held by Paul Biederman at 139.3. Now, we have 2 standout athletes in that event, which in my eyes are both Duncan Scott, who represents London Raw, and Danas Rapsis, who represents Energy Standard. While both of them have PBs of 140 point, not even in the 139 territory, I do think that they can bring out the best of each other as the meets go on. And I think if someone like Blake Proney sets out a really fast early pace and them two get dragged along and push each other on for the last 50, we could see it starting to get close. I still think it's a long shot, but it's one I would love to see broken. Next up, I have the women's 50 metre backstroke, which is currently held by Etienne Medeiros of Brazil in 25.67. Now, there's a number of great athletes that could break it, and without Minna Atherton being there, who got very close on numerous occasions last season, you might think the event will be safe. But with both Kira Toussaint of the London Raw and Olivia Smaliga of Cali Condors, they have both come close themselves, with Kira having a PB of 25.75 and the American record belonging to Olivia at 25.88. I think both them athletes are awesome, especially in the short course format, and I think they're going to put a lot of pressure on that world record. That's not to say there isn't other threats with the likes of Kylie Mass and Kathleen Baker. At number 3, I'm going to say the men's 100 breaststroke. Now, there's again a number of athletes that could break it, most notably Adam Peaty, who did set the 3rd fastest 100 breaststroke of all time last season with a 55.9. It's still some tenths off the world record held by Cameron van der Burr, but you've got to think with the prominence of the ISL and just the short course atmosphere for the next 7 weeks, he's got to have been improving his start and turns to a point where he can use his amazing swim speed to break that world record. That's not to say there's not other great threats such as Ilya Shimonovic of Energy Standard. At number 2, it's another women's record, and it's a record that's stood for a long time. It's the 50 fly that belongs to Therese Alshammar of Sweden in 24.38. Now, this is actually the world record where the short course and long course variants are the closest, because Sarah Strosham has been 24.4 long course, yet hasn't been 24.3 or quicker in the short course format. I just don't see how she's not finally going to break this world record. But as I said, I could be wrong. There are some other great women in that event, such as Beryl Gastadello, Anastasia Shugradi, and of course Kelsey Adalia. At number 1, I'm going to put the men's 100 IM, and with that record currently holds to Vlad Morozov, who's been 50.2 on 2 occasions already. And I think he is definitely one of the guys that could break that world record. But so could Caleb Dressel, and he's got to be the standout guy for one, breaking world records and breaking this world record in particular. I think he's going to be the first man to go sub 50, and Vlad Morozov could very much well join him. I don't think the 100 IM is the only world record that Caleb Dressel is going to break, and I think he's got a good chance of lowering his 50 freestyle mark, breaking the 100 freestyle mark, and even looking at the 50 fly and 100 fly world records if he can start to nail his turns in the short course meter format, something that he can do absolutely amazingly in short course yards. I also think in a lot of them events, especially the freestyle, Vlad Morozov is going to be very close with him. And Vlad does hold the 2nd fastest 100 freestyle of all time with 44.95. 0.01 off the world record held by Anne-Marie Laveau, who is making a comeback by racing for the London Raw this season. I don't think Amory's going to be putting a threat on the world records, but the races between the Tokyo Frog Kings Vlad Morozov and the Cali Condors Caleb Dressel, I think is going to produce some absolutely groundbreaking results in the 100 IM, the 50 and 100 freestyles, and then when Caleb races Chad Leclos in the fly, we could see some great things happen there. So number one is the 100 IM, but you've got to just sort of round up Caleb Dressel's potential threat on such a number of world records, otherwise the entire list would have been me basically saying, what records could Caleb Dressel break this ISL? Because there is a number, he is an absolutely astounding athlete. Anyhow, that's just my personal opinion. They're the 5 events I see most likely to be broken, and we will see in the next 6 or 7 weeks if I'm right in any way, if I call correctly. But do let me know in the comments what you think are the most likely world records to break. Put your top 5 and what athletes you think are going to do it. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you're excited for the ISL, because I certainly am. If you did enjoy this video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, put on the notifications, and I'll see you on the next video.